The delicate balance of the public image is a craft that requires precision, timing, and an innate understanding of historical legacy. For generations, the art of communicating with the world has been carefully managed through structured announcements and formal portraits, creating a specific narrative that shields the private realities of life behind palace walls. Yet, in the modern digital landscape, the boundaries between private moments and public consumption have shifted dramatically, giving rise to an intricate dance of social media updates, poignant timing, and symbolic gestures. It is within this arena of digital storytelling that a fascinating dynamic has unfolded, captivating observers who watch the subtle timing of public releases. To stay informed on how these subtle narratives shape the modern world, please take a brief moment to subscribe to our channel and activate notifications, ensuring you never miss our deep analytical coverage of these evolving stories. The power of a single image to capture the collective imagination cannot be overstated, particularly when it emerges during a weekend dedicated to celebrating familial bonds. These visual statements serve as more than just casual updates. They act as a medium through which complex relationships, geographic distances, and unspoken sentiments are broadcast to a global audience. Every detail within these snapshots, from the choice of attire to the specific phrasing of a caption, is scrutinized for deeper meaning, reflecting the enduring fascination with those who exist under the intense glare of the public spotlight. In an era where distance can separate families across oceans, the act of sharing a private glimpse into domestic life becomes an act of deliberate communication, bridging the gap between isolated worlds. This particular mid-June weekend brought a series of such communications into sharp focus, showcasing a quiet contrast in how different branches of a highly prominent family choose to present their milestones to the world. On one side, there is the structured continuity of traditional representation, rooted in historic residences and formal military pageantry, where every public appearance is a continuation of a centuries-old heritage. On the other side, an ocean away, in the sun-drenched coastal hills of California, a different aesthetic has emerged that favors an intimate, candid approach to storytelling, emphasizing personal warmth and a break from rigid historical conventions. The interplay between these two distinct styles of presentation creates a compelling narrative texture, where the timing of a publication can spark endless speculation about intentionality, competition, and the underlying state of personal connections. Observers are left to decode the unspoken dialogue occurring through digital screens, passing out the subtle shifts in tone and timing that define this modern era of public relations. The atmospheric tension is palpable as each new image is released into the digital ether, immediately analyzed by millions who seek to understand the emotional landscape behind the polished exterior. This dynamic is further complicated by the impending realities of long-distance travel, shifting security protocols, and the slow march of time that keeps young relatives separated from their ancestral roots. As the summer sun warms the historic grounds of London and the quiet estates of the English countryside, the anticipation grows regarding potential reunions that could either bridge the deep fractures of recent years or reinforce the boundaries that have been so carefully drawn. The narrative is not merely about photographs or captions. It is about the broader themes of identity, belonging, and the choices made by individuals who must navigate their lives under an unprecedented level of global scrutiny. Within this larger context, the simple act of marking a traditional holiday becomes a multi-layered event, rich with subtext and open to myriad interpretations. The public is invited to witness these fragments of a larger story, where the quiet elegance of a garden portrait stands in sharp relief against the warm, casual intimacy of an overseas embrace. As we prepare to delve deeper into the specific events, the delicate timing, and the profound implications of these weekend releases, the stage is set for a comprehensive exploration of how modern public figures navigate the complex intersection of private life and public expectation. Transforming simple family moments into globally debated phenomena, the precise chronological sequence of that mid-June Sunday reveals how a single day can become a complex web of public statements and emotional crosscurrents. The day began with a series of coordinated releases from official accounts in the United Kingdom, designed to honor both Father's Day and a significant 44th birthday milestone. The official account of the head of state initiated the tributes by sharing a poignant historic photograph of a young monarch standing alongside his own father, the late Duke of Edinburgh, both dressed in their formal Royal Air Force service dress uniforms. This black and white image was accompanied by a reflective message celebrating all fathers, while offering a comforting thought to those who wished they could be with their dads on that day, setting a tone of solemn remembrance and continuity. Just minutes later, the same account published a direct tribute to the heir to the throne, featuring a photograph taken in October 2025 during a rare joint public appearance at the Natural History Museum in London for Countdown to OOP 30, showing the father and son sharing a warm moment. This was quickly followed by an incredibly charming image released by the Princess of Wales, capturing her husband and their daughter Charlotte sharing a joyful moment in the gardens of Kensington Palace. The photograph, taken shortly after the grand military pageantry of Trooping the Colour, showed a grinning father with his arm wrapped around his beaming daughter, accompanied by a sweet caption signed by the children and their mother, wishing a happy birthday and Father's Day to the best papa in the world. However, just hours after these traditional and celebratory images from London flooded the digital landscape, a completely different visual narrative emerged from across the Atlantic Ocean. In California, the Duchess of Sussex utilized her platform to share a highly intimate, candid snapshot of her 41-year-old husband embracing their two young children, Archie and Lilibet. In this sunlit and informal image, the father is pictured kneeling on the ground with a bright, relaxed smile as he tightly holds his son and daughter. The details of the scene were instantly analyzed by commentators worldwide, noting 5-year-old Lilibet wearing casual white shorts and a top with a giraffe teddy bear resting on her back, while 7-year-old Archie was outfitted in a vibrant England FIFA World Cup print t-shirt from the high street brand Zara. The caption accompanying the post read with deep affection, stating how lucky they all are to have him and wishing a happy Father's Day to their one and only. The timing of this release, occurring precisely as the British public was digesting the birthday and holiday images of the primary household, sparked intense global conversation about the striking contrast between the two family dynamics and their chosen methods of communication. This quiet battle of imagery highlights the immense distance that remains between the two brothers and their respective families. A separation that is not merely geographic, but deeply emotional and philosophical. While London showcased the seamless blending of military uniform, institutional duty, and private happiness within the historic framework of the capital, California offered a glimpse of unstructured suburban domesticity, completely detached from formal protocols. This vivid contrast became even more fascinating to observers as reports began to circulate that this prolonged geographic separation might soon be temporarily bridged. Rumors and insider reports suggest that the family in California is currently finalizing plans for a highly anticipated, rare collective journey back to the United Kingdom, scheduled to take place in mid-July. This upcoming visit would mark the first time in 4 long years that the young children have travelled to their father's homeland, a trip specifically source-organized to attend the official one-year countdown celebration for the 2027 Invictus Games, which are set to be hosted in the industrial city of Birmingham. The significance of this journey cannot be overstated, as the young prince and princess have not set foot on British soil or seen their grandfather in person since the historic Platinum Jubilee celebrations of Queen Elizabeth II back in June 2022. While their father has made brief, highly secure solo trips to his homeland over the past 2 years, including a couple of fleeting visits to see his father following health announcements, the children and their mother have remained firmly ensconced in their secure coastal enclave. The decision to bring the entire family across the Atlantic indicates that a crucial resolution may have been reached regarding the complex and highly contentious issue of security arrangements. For years, the question of official protection has been a major point of friction, with ongoing legal debates and official evaluations regarding the level of security provision the family is entitled to while staying on British soil. The fact that plans are now actively being laid for a mid-July arrival suggests that the prince has finally found a level of satisfaction with the proposed security protocols, allowing him to feel confident in bringing his young son and daughter into the intense public glare of the United Kingdom. This trip will undoubtedly place an immense amount of pressure on all parties involved, as the world watches to see how an institution rooted in tradition interacts with its estranged members during a high-profile public event. The backdrop of Birmingham, a city with its own rich industrial heritage and sports culture, will provide a unique stage for this countdown event, drawing international media attention to the ongoing legacy of the International Sporting Tournament for Wounded Service Personnel. As the mid-July deadline approaches, logistical preparations are quietly intensifying behind the scenes, ensuring that every movement is carefully managed to avoid unnecessary complications or public disruptions. The emotional weight of this return hangs heavily in the air, representing a pivotal moment that could either serve as a quiet catalyst for familial reconciliation or further solidify the distinct boundaries that have come to define their separate lives. The public remains deeply divided on the matter, with some viewing the upcoming visit as a beautiful opportunity for a grandfather to finally reunite with his distant grandchildren, while others view the careful orchestration of social media posts and travel announcements with a degree of healthy skepticism. This intricate dance of public relations, personal choices, and institutional traditions continues to evolve, ensuring that every photograph, caption, and travel itinerary remains a subject of intense global fascination and endless analysis. The broader context surrounding these family milestones reveals a summer filled with intense public duties, high-stakes public appearances, and deep undercurrents of societal division. The contrast between the quiet, sunlit family photographs shared online stands in sharp relief against the raw, real-world events that unfolded on the historic streets of London during the traditional celebration of Trooping the Colour. As the annual military parade wound its way through central London to mark the head of state's official birthday, the atmosphere was charged with an undeniable tension that tested the resolve of the public figures in attendance. For the Princess of Wales, the event carried an extraordinary emotional weight, marking a rare and highly courageous return to the global stage following an extended period of absence due to her challenging cancer diagnosis. Standing alongside her young children, George, Charlotte, and Louis, she demonstrated a profound level of dignity and composure when the royal carriage procession encountered a vocal demonstration by an anti-monarchist group known as Republic. The demonstrators had gathered in large numbers, holding up bright yellow umbrellas that deliberately spelt out the words meaning an end to the rain, while filling the air with loud chants expressing opposition to the crown. Despite the jarring jeers and the highly visible protest occurring just feet away from her children, the princess remained entirely unamused but completely unbothered, staring down the demonstrators with a calm, stoic resolve that quickly brushed off the tension before the family congregated for the triumphant balcony appearance. This moment of intense public scrutiny was followed by a week of happier, more jovial engagements that highlighted the future king's deep connection to local communities, sporting traditions, and charitable causes. At the legendary Royal Ascot races, the future queen beamed beautifully in a stunning bright yellow outfit designed by Roksanda, marking a highly poignant milestone as she re-entered the vibrant social fabric of the summer season after missing the event the previous year. Her husband was in an exceptionally light-hearted and jovial mood throughout the festivities, walking through the crowds, laughing and chatting enthusiastically with sports fans. As a passionate follower of Aston Villa and the dedicated president of the Football Association, he shared a wonderfully authentic moment with a fellow supporter who shouted an enthusiastic football chant from the crowd. The future monarch chuckled heartily, raising his hand in enthusiastic support and nodding as he praised the Birmingham-based club for enjoying an absolutely spectacular season. This genuine, unscripted warmth is characteristic of his evolving approach to public service, an approach that balances grand constitutional duties with small, deeply impactful acts of personal generosity, such as his recent private donation of £1,000 to save a historic community pub from permanent closure. This balance between local accessibility and international responsibility is precisely what defines the modern institutional path, a path that stands in fascinating contrast to the independent, global humanitarian endeavors being pursued by the branch of the family across the Atlantic. As the world looks ahead to the mid-July countdown event for the 2027 Invictus Games in Birmingham, the upcoming journey represents far more than a simple summer vacation or a standard administrative check-in. It is a moment of profound personal and historical convergence, bringing the next generation of this historic lineage back to the very heart of the nation their father once served with such distinct pride. For young Archie and Lilibet, the journey will be an introduction to a world of deep historical heritage, a world where their own names are woven into a complex tapestry of national identity and public expectation. The event in Birmingham will highlight the enduring power of the international sporting tournament, which serves as a magnificent testament to the resilience, recovery, and untamed spirit of wounded, injured, and sick service personnel worldwide. By centering their return around this universally respected cause, the California-based family is aligning their public narrative with themes of service, community, and global impact, creating a meaningful framework for what might otherwise be a highly stressful personal reunion. The presence of the young children on British soil for the first time in 4 years will inevitably spark deep reflection among observers about the passage of time, the fragility of family bonds, and the ultimate importance of shared roots. Whether this highly anticipated summer visit will serve as the initial quiet foundation for long-term familial healing, or merely reinforce the distinct boundaries of their separate lives remains to be seen. What is entirely certain is that the world will be watching every detail with breathless anticipation, searching for any subtle sign of reconciliation, warmth, or mutual understanding between the branches of this extraordinary family. The enduring global fascination with their lives proves that, despite geographic distances, philosophical differences, and the intense pressures of public life, the story of this family continues to captivate the collective human imagination.